So the hood's about to get cleaned out by the National Guard. Hell yeah! That's how black people feel about it. Not the white people in the suburbs that have never had to face, you know, at least street smarts adversity in their life. Maybe another kind of adversity, but not that type of adversity. I'm gonna put this in the link. So I don't know if you know, I think his name is Ami Horowitz. He did, sorry, I just ate him like all burping and stuff. He just did a video a few weeks ago where he goes again to the white liberal neighborhoods and he's like, what do you think of the police? And they're like, yeah, man, fuck the police. Fuck this. They're so violent and you don't need police. Police are stupid, right? And then he goes to the black neighborhoods and he's like, well, what do you think about, you know, the people that say that they want to defund the police? And they were like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, they're good. Like, it'd be chaos here. It'd be hell. We need the police in the inner cities. He goes, they're like, that's where all the violence is. And I'm just like, these dumbass people, again, I swear to God, this is what turned me over, you know, or made me walk away, hashtag. I'm not saying that I'm a Republican either, but this is what made me walk away from the left a lot was being a Lyft driver, especially like around midterms, because I think I was really kind of trying to stay in the middle, you know, until midterms, and then midterms, and that whole thing. I mean, it was a nightmare. And I would get a lot of these people that would just be like, you know, tell me shit, you know, tell me like what's going on in my neighborhood when they've never been, and they're just, you know, fantasizing and romanticizing what it's like, you know, because maybe they listen to a lot of hip hop music and they think it's cool to be a rapper, but they don't know what it's like growing up and hearing gunshots, being afraid to walk down your own street. I remember like, I grew up, if you guys are from LA, you probably know these areas, but I grew up the first 8 years in Koreatown, and at that time, it wasn't called Koreatown, but most of my friends were fresh off the boat. I'm just gonna say it. Most of my friends were Asian, and they were like Latino, because that was like a poor neighborhood, and you know, that's where a lot of immigrants lived, which I didn't care, legal, whatever. They were cool, they were my friends. That's where I grew up. Then when I was 8, we moved away to South Central by USC, which is the University of Southern California. And the first month I was over there, you know, oh, kids playing around, you know, new kids and stuff. This boy runs around the corner and gets shot in a drive-by shooting. This little boy that I was playing with. And my parents are freaking out. They're just like, oh my God, blah, blah. So we had to like stay. I don't even know how, by their logic, I mean, they can still come up to the gate and shoot through the gate and hurt us. But by their logic, I wasn't allowed to play down the street. And I was only allowed to play within the confines of the gate of the apartment. I could not leave the gate, okay? And at the time, I just thought it was stupid. I was like, why can't I play? Like the bigger kids were going down, then they can go down the street or whatever. But my mom didn't want me, like, or my parents didn't want me going outside of the gate, okay? And it was like, you know, I mean, it wasn't fun. It was like being a prisoner in your own space. And I'm about to sneeze, oh my God. It's the Rona! I got the Rona. I'm just kidding. And I love it when people are like, you keep playing like that, you're gonna get it. What, I'm gonna get an invisible fucking disease that they've never found or isolated yet with the fake ass false positive test? Okay, yeah, I'm really scared. Okay, tangent. But anyway, damn, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so I'm talking about, yeah, it's not fun, right? And honestly, to be honest with you, my neighborhood wasn't that bad because, like within a few months, maybe within a year, a few months to a year, the university started buying up a lot of the properties that were kind of, that housed a lot of gangbangers and crackheads. I know there's a crack house that they like destroyed or bought up or something. And then they started renting out to students. So in that particular area of South Central, the crime got better. My neighborhood wasn't as dangerous as other sections, because South Central is like it's a section. It's not technically a city. It's a section in LA, and it kind of varies depending on who you ask. But you know, like I couldn't go, you know, like you have to go, if you go to certain areas in LA, in South Central, you have to worry about the color of clothes that you wear because you might be on the wrong gang territory and they might take it as a threat and just shoot you, okay? It's crazy. Like, I mean, it was what it was when I was growing up, but I wasn't like, oh, my life. And then when I went to high school, I was bused outside to a performing arts high school that was outside of that area, so I didn't really have to worry as much about that going to school. But junior high was fucking hell. And I remember being bullied all the time by other black people, by the way, okay? And then it's like you kind of, if you know that these people that are bullying you have gang relations, you're kind of like, should I fuck with that? Should I fight back? Because they can come back and stab me tomorrow, okay? I actually had an incident where I lucked out, like I had angels on my shoulders. And this is really stupid, but there was this boy that would bully me, and he was we were doing PE. I remember I didn't want to play. I didn't want to play basketball, you know, during PE, and the PE teacher made me play. And this dude's way bigger than me, and we're just on the court, and he just keeps pushing me down, and trying to take the ball. He pushes me down. I'm just like, fuck this motherfucker. So he comes up the court and I stick my leg out and I trip his ass. And I didn't think he was gonna like flip as hard as he did, but he flipped hard and I broke his ankle. And I didn't know that I broke his ankle until later, but he was telling everybody that he was gonna kill me. I thought I was gonna die. But I guess what happened was I had some mutual friends that was friends with him, and they just convinced him that I was like retarded. So, true story. So he didn't get me, but I thought like I was gonna die. But I've seen some crazy ass fights. I've seen like, you know, it's like tyrannical, right? Like I remember there's these evil bitches that would go and they were black too, by the way. We would go, if you get a soda, you get soda and you would get a cup of ice. And then they would just take the ice and they would just throw it at people. And they would throw it in the crowds and just watch it hit people and like laugh. And there was this one girl that was Latina, she barely spoke English. She was like, you fucking bitch, you stupid bitch. And this girl, she had hair down to her ass. This girl took her arm and wrapped her hair around her arm like a roll of paper towels and beat the shit out of her. And we were just all like, holy shit. And I didn't know that girl. Maybe it was different. It was a friend of mine, but I wasn't gonna fuck with those bitches, okay? And they had gang ties. Like, no, like, you know, like, people didn't really fuck with the people that had gang ties. But then again, if you, I interviewed Mo Reese Delk. I don't know if you know his channel. He has a really interesting story. He talks about, maybe I'll link that to the interview too. He talks about how he was in a gang and he joined a gang because he was being bullied. So people also that are in gangs aren't necessarily bad. They're just not like, man, I'm bored off my ass, I guess I'll just go join a gang. You know, most people do it for protection. So if they're getting like, if they're getting bullied or harassed or whatever, they join a gang either for revenge. If they're not born into it, right? They do it for revenge because maybe somebody they love got shot or murdered or killed, or they join for protection. Because if you're being bullied by one gang and you join another gang and you're with this gang, then you have protection with this gang, then they're not gonna bother you. The other gang's not gonna really fuck with you, if that makes sense. And maybe there's another reason that I left out, but I'm just saying those are the main reasons that I know of. And when you join a gang, they have this procedure called, I'm like, it's a procedure. I know like gangbangers would be like, she's making it all like proper and shit. But it's a fucking procedure, okay? Called like, you jump in and jump, like they jump you, basically. Well, depending on what kind of gang though, I'm sorry, it just depends. Some gangs, they jump you, which means if you're gonna join, you have to like, let them beat the shit out of you for like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. They all have to, like, you jump in and you can't fight back and they just beat the shit out of you, okay? And you might even get ribs broken or bones broken or your face fucked up or whatever. And then if you decide to get out, they have to do the same process. That's a lighter version, okay? A bigger version of a gang is you have to actually kill somebody. And a lot of times it's somebody that's innocent. It's not like a rival gang member. You just have to kill like a pregnant mom or a child or some crazy shit like that in order to be part of that gang. So it's really evil, and most of the people that live in that situation are terrified, you know. And I noticed this a lot when I taught in South Central, and I taught in East LA, and then I taught in Taiwan, and then I taught at a Chinese prep school. 2 different scenarios. And people always say, oh, Asians are so smart, it's genetic. No, that's some bullshit. Asians study their ass off. That's a whole nother problem that I can do another whole video about, that I think is fucked up and is fucking up a lot of Asian kids. But in comparison with the kids in South Central and the inner city kids in East LA, how can you be a high level student if you're concerned about getting killed all the time, if you're watching your friends get shot and stabbed, if you're in a high level of stress all the time? It's very rare that people on a large scale is going to be able to focus, right? You look at the schools down there, they're already set up like prisons. I've heard that there's they take reading level tests, reading test, and if people have a certain amount of people haven't passed the reading test by a certain age, they know how many prisons to build, because they know that if this person hasn't learned how to read sufficiently by this age, then they're basically fucked and they're going to go into a life of crime. Now, I've heard other people saying, oh, it's been debunked, whatever, but I fucking believe it, because the prisons are privately owned and they want a certain amount of people. Right? They're not, they have to be at 98% capacity. Thanks, Joe Biden. Thanks, Bill Clinton. Okay? Because you care about black people so much. But yeah, so it's interesting. Those people are living, you're living in a prison. You're living in these white people that are like, police are stupid. Fuck the police. Clear, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're so ignorant. It's either they're super stupid or they know exactly what they're doing, basically, okay? These are the same white people that when you talk about the gang violence and how that's happening at a faster rate, a more prolific rate than policemen killing black people, like they call you a sellout and they tell you that you don't know about the problems from the hood, even though you live in the hood and they didn't. Like those fucking people. I fucking hate those people. But yeah, you have that. And then my friend, get this is kind of funny. My friend was my friend's dad, my best friend's dad, is a private investigator. And if you've ever heard the statistic that a lot of these crimes, these gang murders go unsolved, well, it's because a lot of the people that know the information don't want to rat, because they know that the gangbangers are going to come after their whole fucking families, okay? Sometimes you hear about children being shot. Is it really a drive-by, or is it a message to somebody that squealed? I'm just saying. So, it's like, so he would go and he would have to interview some of these people and try and get witnesses and stuff. And they tell him stuff off record, but then they'd be like, can you, he'd be like, yeah, can you come to court? I'm going to subpoena you. And they're like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm doing that because they're scared. So it's like, because they know they're going to be terrorized. There's nobody to protect them, right? Most of the people in that situation are good people. They want to make it. They want to, it's not like what you think, but they're being terrorized by fucking demons. It's a war. That's a war in these inner cities within itself. So it's like, I'm happy. I know they're like, hell yeah, clean this shit up. We want freedom, right? Freedom. Just as if it's the same thing that's going on, just like any third world country that we've been tricked into going to war to. But it's usually what happens is our deep state, dark government, a lot of times puts somebody in charge there in that country that they can control, because they know that if they're corrupt, they'll hire other people around them that are corrupt, and they'll make deals to run drugs or do whatever, human trafficking, adrenochrome, whatever dark, dirty, nasty, illegal deed that they're doing. And then if a lot of those people find out, or they'll just, they want power, they're power hungry, then they'll control that country, and then we'll then so you have the people that are like terrorized by that dictator, right? And then the deep state will brainwash soldiers into thinking that, everybody in that country is bad and we got to take them out. And then you go to that country and then you kill the person that's in charge. But it's mainly because our deep state wanted them gone. Maybe they were getting too much of a big head or something. They weren't doing shit they were supposed to do. Or maybe they stopped being corrupt or whatever. So then you got to create a war to do that, to still go in, either take out the dictator, there are multiple agendas, right? Steal their resources, and a lot of good, innocent people always get hurt and killed in the process. And then you create a lot of hate toward America for that, and you create a lot of hate, by soldiers that figure out that they've been duped and that are vaccine injured and now are broken. I just went on a huge tangent. It's tangent day, y'all. It's tangent day. But I hope that all makes sense. Look up, I'm going to put links for some of this stuff, but you can look up, what is that book? It's a really good book. Oh, God. Oh, somebody, I'll probably remember it by the time I turn off the video, because that's how it usually is. But it was basically this guy in the CIA, and he talks about how the deep state, he doesn't call it the deep state. He probably just says it from the side of the U.S. government, but it's really the deep state. Basically goes and corrupts countries like this. It's the same shit in the cities. They need these gangbangers to do their dirty deeds, right? They need them to run their drugs, or, because it's like, you have a lot of gangbangers in drug dealing. It goes hand in hand. They don't just gangbang for shits and giggles. Like rapping, drug dealing goes in hand. The rap music keeps people, in a state that doesn't question the status quo, and makes them believe with every part of their being this is how their life has to be. And if they want to stray from that, then they're a terrible person. They're a sellout. And that's why, people that don't like rap music, that kind of do their own thing, they're kind of like crabs in the bucket. They pull people down that don't want to be associated with that lifestyle, right? But you need that mentality. It's a type of black magic brainwashing, I would say, in order to keep people in line. That's why when hip hop was starting to become conscious, they were like, nah, we gotta step in, because people were really starting to wake up on a conscious level. So you have that aspect, and then you have the gangbangers that keep the order in the neighborhood, and that also run the drugs to the people and sell people, because where are the gangbangers getting their drugs from? They don't have fucking cocaine plants and, what is that, fentanyl plants? Like, somebody's bringing those drugs in, right? So it's this whole system that's needed to keep control of things, and it looks like it's about to be broken down. And I hope that, people are more, it's mostly Black and Latino people in the inner cities, but there are white people too that live there, there are Asian people too, there are people of different races that live there too. Anybody that lives in that situation, it's a terrible situation to be in fear and in panic and stress all the time, to constantly be looking over your shoulder, to not being, to having your kids not, being afraid to let your kids play outside. It's not a psychologically and emotionally healthy state. It's not a physically healthy state. It's not any type of state. Okay, so that's what a Black person thinks about the National Guard going into the hood. So you fucking white people that are so fucking brainwashed, that think that it's like you fantasize because you listen to too much 50 Cent fucking albums. You guys are fucking dumbasses. That's all I have to say. And you're evil too, whether wittingly or unwittingly. I'm just letting you know that. All right, y'all. Yeah. I'll talk to you later. Join my email list, truthertalk.com. Please go shop and buy some Conspiracy Realist t-shirts and All Lives Matter bumper stickers, informational zines. You can PayPal me or send something to my P.O. box if you would like. Join my Patreon and Subscribe Star. And hook up on the other backup channels, because you know how shady YouTube is. We don't know how long this is going to be up. And check out some of our old podcasts on SoundCloud. I think that's it. I think I got it I think I got it all in this time, right? You guys, I'll talk to you later. Peace, truth, love. Bye-bye. Mwah.